Okay, today is stretch and strength yoga. A little bit of strength work, a little bit of lengthening work, and Kaylee's here in the studio with us today. A little bit of lengthening, a little bit of strengthening, a nice long meditation at the end. You're going to earn it. We're going to work on legs, specifically hip flexors. And we're also going to do some footwork. So really slow, mindful, and careful with footwork.
You totally tricked me into coming to a hip class, didn't you?
So if you want to look for the easy version, maybe check Kaylee because she'll be cheating in the background there. So if you have your yoga blocks, grab your yoga blocks for the footwork. If you don't have a yoga block, you can do some of the footwork up against a wall. So be close to a wall or grab a yoga block. You can have your straps handy if you want to play with the straps, but they're not 100% necessary. So today we are going to start down on our stomachs. So land down on your stomach in whichever position is comfortable, either child's or crocodile. Crocodile is on your stomach, one hand on top of the other, and your forehand down on your hands. If this is particularly stifling, you can put like a little eye pillow or something underneath just to lift your head up a little so you have a little more breathing space. But start your grounding. So starting our yoga practice with grounding, landing in the room, landing in present moment. Starting to release and ground and give yourself a little promise to be on the mat for 60 minutes. Let go of the to-do list, let go of the outside world, and really land in the here and now. Feel your breath in the body. Feel the parts of your body that are touching the ground. And your back is open and exposed. So start to feel the muscles of your back starting to loosen and soften, the weight of gravity kind of pulling everything down into the mat. Start to slow and lengthen your breath, and throughout practice try to keep that nice, long, slow breath. And it's not a martial arts practice, so unless we intentionally have a particular breath work we're working with, like fire breath, some of these breaths that are really strong and intentional in the muscles, start to try and have intentional breath without that gripping of the muscles, without that that fierce gripping in the muscles. Soft, slow breath, connecting with slowing down, inviting in slow, soft breath, and inviting out a release of anything no longer needed as you slowly and gently exhale from the body. This brings a slowing to the mind, a slowing to our energy. Start to really promise yourself that you're going to slow and be with your breath. And whenever the mind wanders off the mat, you'll notice we're doing a lot of balancing today. Whenever the mind wanders off the mat, you're going to stumble, you're going to wobble, you're going to fall, you're going to be distracted. That's when you can get hurt because you're not paying attention to the muscles. Just gently bring your mind back into physical sensation. Locate muscles, feel the muscles, be present with the muscles, and be present with the breath in the body. Watching it come in nice and slow, and watching it come out, particularly if you have a tendency to hold your breath. Really get to know what your patterns are. Notice if you have any gentle pauses in your breath. Maybe explore making them a little bit longer, or if that does not make you feel better in your body, explore taking them out. Slowing down, landing, perhaps even saying to yourself, I am here now. Notice if your mind is starting to wander around, starting to ask when we're going to get up and moving, starting to do those little jitterings and wanderings. You're getting bored, you don't want to be in your breath. Notice. And gently invite just a few more slow breaths. There's no race. There's no rush. Now we're going to start with a movement for releasing holding patterns in the upper back and shoulders. So you're going to bring your hands out kind of wider than your mat and land your hands on the ground. So not push-up strength, not lots of push-up strength in the hands. And we're going to inhale as we come up through center, lower the left shoulder down to the ground, turn and look at the right foot, exhale. Inhale back through center. Exhale, turn and look at the other foot and lower the right shoulder down. So start to move in your own body. Start to feel your shoulders, your upper back. And notice. So notice if your low back seems to tighten. Notice if you tighten your glutes as you start to move. Start to soften and just kind of move through. And another thing to play with is maybe not dropping the shoulder down in the middle, but turning and looking and holding the shoulder, maybe giving it a little circle, and then back the other way, holding the shoulder up, giving it a little circle. Feeling the range of motion of your shoulders and your upper back. Still feeling that nice, slow, intentional breath. Start to make this your practice. Notice your shoulders holding patterns. Notice where you feel things in your upper back. Start to move, explore, get to know your own body. And then bring it back down to crocodile pose. Shimmy the hips, make sure the low back is soft. And then we're going to start to move and breathe with our lower back, lower body. So we're going to keep our head and shoulders where it is. And we're going to fire up the glutes and the legs first. So keep them on the ground, press the tops of the feet into the ground, fire up the glutes and the legs. Maybe if you have a lot of tendency to crunch in the low back, little soft tilt of the pelvis just to keep everything engaged and keep that crunch out of the low back. So you're going to push down into the ground, fire up, and then we're going to inhale as we lift the toes, and exhale as we lower. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. See if you can find some muscles in your feet. Imagine as you're lifting, somebody's pulling your feet and making you longer. See if you can find more muscles in the backs of your legs. And then bring them up, hover, hold, long and strong, arms out just enough to balance, and you're going to lift your shoulders, fire up the rest of your back. Try not to bring your head back or tuck it down too low. Keep your head in line with your shoulders. Squeeze and hold, breathe. Find that place where you can find the whole back and keep it strong. And then bring the hands up if you can, hold, breathe. And then lower, inhale up, exhale lower, inhale up, moving with your breath, exhale lower. You can lower the hands if this is too much. Find the place where you can hold a lot of strength in your back and have all the muscles working evenly, the glutes, the backs, the legs, low back, mid back, everything strong. And then bring it down to crocodile. Shimmy the hips, loosen and soften those legs. Bend the knees, send the heels up to the ceiling, and take a little side sway with the lower legs. So soft side sway, letting everything go, feeling what's present in the legs. Flex the feet, heels to the ceiling. And we're going to take little circles with the heels. Little circles. Trying to keep the muscles of the legs fired up and the muscles of the feet fired up. And then take little circles the opposite direction. And then lower the feet, tuck the toes, make your way to child's pose. Land in a child's. And then inhale forward to a tabletop, exhale back to child's. So, if you want to start working with your feet, tuck the toes. Start to feel a little stretch in the feet. Start to move with your breath. Notice what's present in your body. These familiar patterns of movement give you an opportunity to really get to know what's going on. And then coming up to a tabletop position. Set up so that you're strong in your chest, arms, and shoulders. So you're not sinking into your shoulders with a bowed back. Arms, shoulders, chest active and strong. Take right leg back, even with the hip. Hold it active. You can keep the left toes tucked if you want to work the feet. Hold it here. Lift and hold, active and strong. Take it past the right leg. And then we're going to inhale, draw it forward to the right hand. Exhale, past the left leg. Inhale, forward and open. Exhale, past. Move with your breath. Take it past the right leg. Little tiny active circles with this leg. Slowly bring it back, even with the hip.
Drop down. I can't do that. And you know I can't do that.
Reverse the circles. Hold.
I can't circle and move my leg at the same time.
Lower the toes. And press through the heel, either static or little pulses.
You're evil.
You're going to do it balancing, so you better practice.
I can't circle and move my leg at the same time. It's impossible. It just doesn't happen.
Moving and breathing. Commentary from the peanut gallery over there.
There's glass all over my mat.
And then lower the right knee. Take a little side sway and assessment. And change your hands a little. So maybe bring the hands closer together or wider apart. Something different for your shoulders this time. Challenge your muscles in a different shape. Set up, not buckling, but strong in the shoulders and arms. Left leg, even with the hip. Hold strong. So watch for the bowing. Lift up, strong. Everything strong. Left leg really strong and active. Maybe pulling the toes towards the shin and a really long, strong foot. Slowly take the left leg past the right. And we're going to inhale as we draw it to the left. And exhale as we come past the right. So watching for lots of movement in the back. Try and keep this all in the leg, the glute, the hip. Move with your breath. Take your left foot all the way past the right. Little tiny tight circles. Tight circles with the leg. Slowly bring the leg back, even with the hip. Kaylee's giving up. And then reverse the circles. Small tiny circles leading from the heel. And then lower the left knee. Take the hips all the way over to the right. Little stretch in the right hip. Sorry, all the way over to the left. It doesn't matter which side you do first. Take them over to one side. Back through tabletop and then over to the other side. Stretch out. Back through tabletop. Make your way to down dog. So come on up to down dog and move through down dog in whichever way feels right in your body right now. Pedaling out the legs, swaying the hips. I do suggest swaying the hips a little, maybe moving the feet around, kind of feeling what is going on in the sides of your hips.
It's been a while since I've done the yoga.
And then find a steady down dog. Turn your world upside down, find your breath.
The backs of my legs are really tight.
Bending the knees, step your feet a little bit further forward, so a little bit closer to your hands. Still active and strong in the arms and shoulders. Bending the knees a little bit deeper. Slowly press one heel at a time down to the ground. So one heel at a time down to the ground.
You're evil.
I forgot to do the stretch. Really, hamstring on the other leg. Step it back to regular down dog. Lower the right knee. Take the left leg back and press through the heel. Little stretches. So Kaylee's little commentary in the background says, hysterectomy. You may not be even left and right sides today.
Sorry.
And then make your way back to down dog. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, and either jump or float up, landing, feet hip width apart. Forward fold. So bend the knees, let your torso fall to your knee, your thighs, head, crown of the head to the ground. You have your block. Grab your block just to bring your torso up a little more flat. A little more strength in your torso, so engage the stomach and work through the feet here. So we're going to take our feet, bend our knees, and we're going to take the weight around either edge of our feet. So as if you're coming onto either inside edge of the right, outside edge of the left, roll around, go to the other edge of your foot. So changing the weight on your foot, letting your knees kind of move in a circle. Moving around on your feet, feeling the muscles that let you move in these unusual angles. Feeling your toes, feeling the muscles in your feet. Trying not to grip with your toes. Notice if you really grip with your toes. Let your toes be softer. Move around, weight on your feet. And then take your feet a little bit wider, probably about mat width apart. And same thing, move to the edges of your feet with your weights. Nice and slow and controlled, feeling your feet.
I think I put more weight on my left foot.
Step your feet back into mountain pose. Have your block or wall handy. Place it down on the ground in front of you. Inhale as you come all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. 2 more times. Breathing in, connecting with your breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Bring your prayer to heart. Check in on your standing pose. So feel your feet on the ground. Look for gripping in the toes. Look for gripping around the knees, the ankles. Soft low back, soft glutes. Little longer in the torso. Hands of prayer. Soften the shoulders, soften the face. And then close your eyes and see if you can start to feel all the little micro adjustments that happen in your body as you stand on your own 2 feet. Finding your breath. And then we're going to look down at our toes and we're going to work with our toes. So pick your toes up and see if you can spread them wide like you're spreading fingers wide. Spread, spread, spread the toes. Maybe bend the knees a little more and get a little more space. Spread them wide. Then starting at the pinky toe, see if you can fan them down one at a time. And then pick them up, big toe up, and one at a time. You're not going to get it perfect the first time. It takes practice, but just looking at your toes and thinking about picking them up one at a time. Notice which muscles you feel as you start to work this. Notice any muscles that start to feel really like achy and weak.
I don't think I have muscles.
Picking your toes up nice and slow. As if you're trying to do it one at a time. You won't be able to do it right away, but with practice, you'll be able to isolate and move one at a time. You give up already. Bring it back to mountain pose. You're going to step on your block with your left foot just to keep it still. First, bring your right foot up. So you're going to bring your right foot up so you can stretch your toes. You want to bring your toes up onto the block. But your block is going to move, so you're going to hold the block with the left foot. You're going to bring the toes of the right foot on. Whew. See if you can stretch your toes. So you want the ball of the foot on the ground and the toes stretched. Be mindful, don't go too far, don't stretch too far. Once you get it, you're going to bend both knees and sink it down. See if you can feel a little stretch in the toes. Can you stretch it? Are you stretching your toes?
I think so.
Do they feel like they're stretching?
I don't know. I've never stretched my toes before.
And then you're going to inhale up, straighten up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Watch for gripping of the left toes. Try to move nice and slow.
My block is moving slowly. Oh my man.
Slowly bring it up and switch feet. So take your right foot, take a little circle with the foot. Take a look at your feet. Notice if your left and right toes feel different. And then set up your left foot. So the ball of the foot is as close to the block as possible. And then you're going to hold it with your right foot. Woo! Find your balance. Bend both knees. See if you can find a stretch in your toes. So if you do a lot of toe stands, if you do like a lot of work on the balls of your feet, this might not feel like a stretch at all. But then when we start to bend, you'll start to feel the muscles working. So inhale, start to straighten the legs. Exhale, bend and lower the hips a little.
I guess I have stretched my toes before.
You stretch in toe stand.
Yeah.
Bring it all the way up. Slowly step back. Take a circle with the left foot. Notice left and right feet. See how they feel. Take the left leg back behind you about 3 feet. So far enough that you can keep your hips facing forward, not so far that you're super stretched already. Find pyramid pose. So keep an eye on those hips. Keep them even facing forward. Watch knees. Try not to lock knees. Start to get longer in the spine and slowly come forward with the hips facing forward. You should start to feel it up into the right hip, across the back of the right leg. If you do not feel this at all, bend the back knee and start to bring the toes of the right foot up. So you're landing on the heel, you're going to challenge your balance, bring your arms up to out to the outside to help. Breathe. If this still isn't enough, you can use your block. Right heel comes onto the block and bend deeply in the back leg. So rather than bringing the nose to the knee and bringing this all into the lower back, we can find the back of the leg without challenging the lower back. And still, if you can't feel it, start to activate the muscles. So as if you're trying to pull that right heel back to the hip without letting the foot move. Breathe. You can hold it static, or you can lift and lower. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Little movements through the muscles. Sometimes you get a little more space in the leg by moving it. And then step back. Notice left and right sides. And switch sides. So this time, right foot back, pyramid pose. Find a comfortable place for your knees and ankles. Really long and strong in the spine. So torso active. Long, 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 as if you're trying to grow through the crown of your head. Hips even, come forward. Start here. See if you can feel anything. Maybe peel up the toes of the left foot. Trying not to lock the left knee. Maybe bend the back leg. And if you're still not feeling a deep stretch in the back of the leg, bring that left heel onto a block. Bend the right knee. So not knee to nose, not knee to nose, nose to knee, but feeling the back of the leg without any compromise in the lower back. Breathe. And then slowly step it out, tap out the feet. We're going to work the hip flexors and then go into our balancing challenges. So find your mountain pose. Find your feet. Soft back. Connect to your breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. One more time. Pick up the toes, make sure they're still soft. Soft bend in the knees, soft face and shoulders. And then we're going to work through the hip flexors. So first strengthening, then we're going to do some balancing challenges. So start to get the weight onto the left leg without throwing out the hips. Pull them in, keep them even. Keep your hands on them if you're not sure if they stay even. So weight onto the left leg, engage the stomach, get really strong in the spine, and bring right leg forward, knee bent. Oof. Active right leg, so really strong in the right leg. Once you have your balance, we're going to draw the knee up and push the foot down. So drawing the knee up, pushing the foot down. You move with your breath, inhale up, exhale, push. In two ways. Now we can start to do that fire breath, so really forceful. Or keep that slow, intentional, soft breath. Inhaling up, exhaling, push. Hands can stay out if you're still working with your balance. Or you can move your hands in, push your hands out, pull in, push out. Start to really use and fire up that hip flexor. Hold it up. And we're going to take it all the way back to a high lunge. So, two ways you can pump it up with us a little bit more and come all the way from high lunge to kick out and then back. Or back to where we were with just inhale up, exhale push. So take your choice, see where you're at. So we're going to pull forward, Exhale out. Inhale up, push it back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, push. Legs strong. Inhale, exhale, inhale, push. Legs strong. Move intentionally. And then wherever you're at, come to mountain pose and tap out that left foot. Make sure that it's nice and soft. And then on to our balancing. So find your base first. Find a strong mountain pose. So solid in your balance. Find your center. Soften your shoulders and your face. You're going to pick up the right knee. Bring it forward. Find your balance. Straighten the right leg. So first just straighten it. And then start to slowly pull the right leg up. Pull, 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 pull. Hold and balance. Bend the knee. Bring the knee forward. Grab it. Engage the leg. See if you can keep it here. Then see if you can straighten it a little bit higher. Challenge. Bend the left leg deeply. Slowly bring right leg over to right side. Arms out to balance. Challenge yourself. Slowly bring it back behind you. Challenge yourself. Bend in the back leg. Woo, lost it. Find it back. Start to bring it torso forward, warrior 3. And then take your circles with your leg. Slowly bring it all the way back. Keeping your tight circles. All the way back to forward. Woo. Hold it up. And then step it out. Get off that left foot. Tuck the left foot under, toes under, and then pull forward like you're trying to stretch the front of the foot. Find your breath. And then on to the other side. Connect to your breath first. Inhale up. Exhale, heart to heart. Bring your prayer to heart. Soften, find your base. Make sure toes are soft enough gripping. Soft face and shoulders. Weight onto the right leg. Slowly bring the left leg forward, keeping it on the hips. Hold. And then choice of bringing it, inhale up, exhale down in either slow and intentional or fire breath. So pulling, getting rid of some excess energy. Push it out. Bring it up and hold. Make your choice if you want to be here, staying with this movement, or pumping it up from a high lunge. So if you're keeping it here, come to mountain. If you're going to the high lunge, you're going to send that left leg back and set up. Inhale, forward, knee forward. Exhale, push the knee back. Inhale, up. Exhale, back to low lunge. Intentional, strong legs. Move slow, intentional. Resist the movement with your own muscles. Find your own resistance in your muscles. Woo. Wherever you're at, Step to mountain pose, tap out the feet. Connect to your breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Find your base, soften your toes. Soften your shoulders and face. And then weight onto the right leg. Start to really pull up from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Left leg forward. And then straighten it up. Lift it high. Woo. Bend the left leg. Grab it. Get taller, taller, taller in the spine. Then activate the left leg. Really strong activation. See if you can send it out straight. First, see if you can let go of it. Keep it where it is and then send it out straight. See if you can hold it here. See my muscles wobbling. Hold. Bend the right knee a lot. Strong active torso, arms out for balance. Take that left leg out to the side. Bend a little more, bring the torso forward and send it slowly behind you, keeping it up until eventually you make it to warrior three. Little circles, tiny circles leading with the heel. And then slowly come back the way you came. See if you can do it. It's a challenge. I lost my circles. Bring it all the way back. Hold. And then bring it down. Tap it out. Tuck the right toes under. Land them on the ground. Pull forward, stretching the front of the foot. Step forward, mountain pose. We're going to move through the balls of our feet. So bend the knees. We're going to slowly peel the heels up off the ground. Arms can be out, they can stay on your hips. Slowly peeling the heels up and lower. And it doesn't matter how far you peel them up. Just peel them up slightly off the ground or peel them up all the way to the balls of your feet. Just go where you are strong. So peeling your heels up and lower. If you're not super strong, do one at a time, nice and slow. Resisting your own movements and finding that mind-body connection. Both heels up. And then start to lower the hips. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. See if you can squeeze like you're squeezing the knees together and pulling them apart at the same time. Find more muscles in your legs to activate. Watch for gripping in the toes. And then we're going to slowly lower it down to toe stand. So as slow as you can go. Legs super engaged. Lower down, lower down, lower down. Try not to land on your heels. Hover just above. Hold and hover. And you can either take an easy seat, or if you're still ready for the challenge, we're going to peel our knees apart and then pull them back together. Slow and engaged legs. Small movement. And then take your hands in front of you. You're going to step out Malasana. So you can take a non-active Malasana and just bring the block in underneath your hips and sit down. Or you can take an active and find the place where you can sit into Malasana. Try to get long in the spine, and if you are going to press your thighs open with your arms, try to press back with your thighs so you've got forces going in both directions. Oh, you're taking an active role, and I'm so proud of you. So once you're here, find a block in front of you just for balance. Fingertips on it, not really pushing on it. Try to take just a little of the weight up off your legs with your block. So find the place where you're nice and strong. And we're going to move really slow and careful. We're going to slowly bring right knee towards the center and back. And then left knee towards center and back. Slow and controlled. Move gentle, move careful. Find the muscles. And then either meeting me in an easy seat or taking a quick play with crow pose. Landing on your arms, getting really strong. So pulling up out of the ground with the muscles of the chest and the stomach. And your balance should come from the muscles of your chest and your core, not by lifting your feet. So you get that cat pose, pulling your chest up to the ceiling. Slowly bring your knees above your elbows onto your tricep shelf. And then pull up out of the ground with all of the muscles of your chest and shoulders. And then maybe pull your toes up. Breathe. Balance. And then slowly make your way to an easy seat. If you have a strap or a band, grab it, keep it handy. So finding your easy seat. Getting long in the spine. Leaning back just to give yourself a little space. Pick up the left heel. So pick it up and hold it. Watch for this. So watch for rolling back onto your tailbone. Try to keep up long and tall in your spine. Pick up your left heel. Make the left foot strong, left leg strong. Lift up. Slowly bring it back and forward. So we're moving the lower leg, heel in and out, heel midline, and then out. It's not going to go far to the left. Start to feel the movement in your hip. Feel the movement in your leg. And then if you'd like to try fire log, you're going to put your right leg out so that it's forward, about 90 degrees. See if you can put your left foot on top. So if you're way up here, stay here. Do not push. If you want to get longer, you're going to try and find sits bones even. Pull up from the spine and then find the muscles on the leg to pull down. So pull with your own muscles. Once you're here, you can play with your hand, just kind of rubbing the muscle, not pushing, because pushing introduces force to the joints. So you're playing with the muscle if you want to play with the muscle. Or you can just sit and use your own muscles to pull that knee back down towards the ground. Breathe. Left foot active and strong.
I can never tell if I'm doing it right if I don't have a mirror.
Right foot active and strong. No, see how your foot's sickled? Yeah. There you go. Tall, tall, tall in this
I can't tell if my legs are actually even in that mirror.
So, thing to watch for is your sits bones feeling even. Because what a lot of people will do is pull one hip up so they can get there.
Yeah.
Pull, pull, pull. Slowly lean back so you can unravel the leg slowly with your own muscles. Swing over to the side and tuck it behind you. So once you got it behind you, top of the foot down on the left leg, You can start to bring your hand over to the right and start to just move a little. Feel what's going on in your leg. You can inhale up and stretch and exhale down. Or you can just feel the hips, feel the hip flexor. Rub your hands, start to feel it. Play. Slowly bring it back, easy seat, other foot in front. So right foot in front this time. Find your hips on the ground. Lean back just a little to give yourself space, stomach engaged. Pick up the right leg. So pick it up, find the muscles that hold it up. Long, strong leg, strong foot. Pull it out, pull it in. Watch for lots of movement in the low back. Try not to land on the tailbone. We're thinking about the hip and the muscles of the legs. And then set up. Left leg is up. You're looking for that flat 90-degree angle. This is an estimate. So it's just a play for opening up your hips. You don't need to have perfect angles. We're just looking to open hips. So get your foot up on your right leg, left leg, right foot on your left leg. Notice if it's way up here and just keep it here and think about your hips. So get your hips on the ground, sits bones even on the ground, and then find some muscles to pull with the muscles of your leg, not your hands. So you can push down. A lot of people push, 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 but that introduces force into the joints. Start with muscle action. So pull down with the muscles of your legs first. Pull down. You can massage the muscle. You can rub the thigh. You can look for tension. Feel where there's tension. Stay away from the joints. Stay away from pushing hard. And if you are tempted to push hard, ask yourself what you're trying to do. Do you have somebody else's ideal of a picture in front of you? Try to let that go and find your own muscles. See what's present. Feel what's present in this pose. If you're already at very even, very open hips and legs, think about getting taller in the spine. Longer, longer, longer. Hands to prayer. Get longer, 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 longer. Breathe. Find your center. Think about grounding down through your sits bones and drawing up through your spine. And then slowly lean back. Left hand comes down and slowly unwind. So slow. Lift up that right leg. Slow, swing it around. Take the right leg behind you. Inhale up, push the right hip forward. And exhale back. And back to easy seat and slowly make your way to your back, keeping your strap handy.
I don't like straps.
No, it's not hard. All the hard work is done, just long, slow, stretchy time. So land on your back. Take some wobbles with your hips. Notice what is present. And then left foot stays on the ground and your band or strap wraps around the right foot, or maybe you just hold the right thigh. Press into the strap while simultaneously pressing that right hip down into the ground. So find the back of the leg. Slowly bring right leg out to the right and play with where it's at. So find the place where you find inner thigh And then move the foot and leg slowly and carefully and gently, and find the spot where you'd like to breathe into, trying to keep that left hip still grounded on the ground. Watch for tension in the neck. You can hold this static, or you can move the leg around. Slowly bring the right foot back through center. Wrap the right knee over the left. Release the strap. Bring the knees in towards the chest and pull feet to opposite shoulders. You're looking to breathe into the glute piriformis space on the right side. Slow your breath. Land back down on the ground. Slowly unravel. Right foot comes to the ground. Left foot gets the strap or holds the thigh. Press the left hip down onto the ground while lengthening the left leg. Find the back of the leg. Slowly bring the left leg out to the left, keeping both hips grounded. Find inner thigh. Breathe. Slowly bring the left leg back through center. Release the strap, left knee over right. Knees in towards chest, feet towards opposite shoulders. Breathe. Imagine you're sending all of your fresh breath right to that piriformis space. And with the exhale, every exhale is sweeping away tension. Drawing in fresh, sweeping away tension. Slowly unravel with both knees in towards the chest. Take your feet so you can see them. Spread your toes wide. And then curl your toes in. Take some circles with your ankles. Maybe take your feet more to the ceiling. Start to soften. Just kind of experiencing what's going on in feet, ankles, legs. Wiggle the toes. See if you can start to loosen and soften the muscles of the legs. Start to really get some really soft wiggles. So really, really wiggling both legs, letting the muscles wiggle, loosen, soften. And then make a choice for where you would like to be for your resting pose. So maybe feet down, knees up, low back soft. Maybe full corpse pose. Maybe you need some props or a blanket. Start to assess where you need to be for your resting pose, where you can most be at rest. Or you can start to release all the tension of all of the muscles. Really starting to let go. And take your feet and squeeze your feet and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your hands into fists. So really tight, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take a deep breath in and really connect with that tension. Really hold it. Maybe squeeze the face too. Really squeeze, 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 squeeze. And when exhale, suddenly try to release all of the tension, hands, feet, and face. See if you're completely soft in your hands, feet, and face. If you are, just start to soften into your breath. Feel your breath in your body. If you're not entirely soft in your hands, feet, and face, squeeze again. So squeeze the toes, squeeze the feet, make some fists, squeeze the face, squeeze, 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 really tight. And take a deep breath in and soften with the exhale. One more time, squeeze the feet, squeeze the hands into fists, squeeze the face. Think about places you typically hold tension, maybe squeeze those points too. Squeeze and bring all of your attention to tension in the body. Squeeze it tight, take a deep breath in, and with the exhale, see if you can suddenly melt, release into the ground. See if you can begin to imagine little pockets of space, little pockets of softness forming in between each of the vertebrae in the spine. As if as you lay here melting into the ground, all of the tension around the spine is melting. All these holding patterns are melting around the spine, maybe even checking in as if you could walk your attention up one vertebrae at a time from your tailbone, slowly, carefully, mindfully walking your attention up your spine, softening, releasing, allowing your body to land. And see if you can land right in the center of the brain, right on top of the tailbone. That place that's not responsible for thought and creativity, that place in our brain that is responsible for our instinct. That very center, the stem of our brain, the hub of activity. The hub of our spinal activity, the meeting point of all that information sent from our brain to our body through our spine, and then from our body all the way up our spine back to our brain. All this sensory information meets here in this center hub. See if you can bring all of your focus right here. As if you're just gently softening away from the activity at the top where all the thoughts happen and coming towards the center, the top of the tailbone. Imagine this is just a central ball of energy. Give it a color, give it a temperature, texture. Rest your awareness here. As if you're just below the thoughts, knowing that the thoughts fire, knowing that they're supposed to fire, knowing that they run around, not necessarily with any purpose, not necessarily needing to be understood 1,000% of the time. See if you can take a little step back into the center of the mind, the center of the brain, and watch them fire as if watching from a distance. An observer, not a participant. If you have the time to take in your resting pose, please take as much time as you need. If you need to finish up at the 60-minute mark, begin to return to your body on the mat. Start to feel yourself here on the mat. And slowly make your way to a fetal position or whatever side is calling to you. Curling up in a little ball. And then slowly bring your way up to a seated position. Hands of prayer at heart space. Connect to your own inner wisdom. Honoring that little guide inside you. And then intentionally honor somebody else's inner wisdom. It can be someone specific or just sending out acknowledgement and respect to the inner wisdom in others, as if allowing your heart center to honor and respect the heart center of others. Thank you for joining us.